Hello, fellow educators. Welcome to the 24th episode of Teacher's Tent. Still a place to regain your strength after a long day, week, or maybe semester this 2023. I'm your host, Steve G. I am so glad to be sharing this second season of our podcast, just twice a month during the fall. So, how's your school year going? How are you feeling? Some districts here in North Texas, I know, have added a fall week to their calendars. So I bet you're looking forward to that if you're working in one of those districts. I'm satisfied that here at Teachers Tent, we devoted the last three episodes to what I believe is the number one problem for teachers in today's schools: classroom management. Hopefully, you found value in what was shared in episodes 21 through 23. Today, I'd like for us to move on to what I consider to be the number two problem educators are facing: the unbelievably wide range of abilities our students exhibit. Currently, for example, most fourth grade teachers are finding themselves teaching kids who are at kinder level, some in first, some in second grade level, a few in third, some in fourth, and if lucky, one or two in the fifth grade level. This is replicated in every grade level from K through 12, where you'll find students 3 or 4 grades below where they should be. I call it insane because no teacher can actually be expected to teach such a disparately uneven range of skills in one class and be held to high standards. Unfortunately, we are. Let me share that for the first time ever in my long teaching career, I myself have a student in my fifth grade class who cannot read. Period. Please notice I didn't say is slow or reads slowly. You heard well. I said cannot read. Nothing. Nada. And I'm sure many of you are experiencing similar situations. I know I'm not the exception, sadly, but the norm in this day and age. We'll start out by considering a few thoughts on this scary trend. In closing, we'll share some advice from a couple of colleagues who have some things that they feel can be done to alleviate or help some. So, let us hope you stay with us and enjoy today's presentation. Please keep sharing your feedback after listening, either through comments on Instagram or emails, in things you think would help any teacher going through this sad situation. So, let's talk about the insane range of abilities I find in my one classroom. Many people simply believe teachers are whiners. They perceive us as creatures who moan about everything, and now we have chosen this topic to complain about. Haven't differences in groups always existed, they claim? When was there a perfectly homogeneous third or 10th grade class anyway? It's human nature, they say, that we're different. Therefore, we should suck it up because of diversity and children's natural different ability ranges. After all, they claim, didn't Miss Beadle, the sweet and beloved teacher in Little House on the Prairie, have a diverse class ranging from 6-year-olds to teenagers, all in one classroom? Well, not really. To start with, yes, we all reckon that differences in abilities are to be expected. Also, we know that a child who does well in reading might find math more challenging, or vice versa. No one is advocating for perfectly homogeneous groups. However, if I am a 7th grade teacher, for example, and I want to be successful, I need students that are somewhere ready to take in the 7th grade curriculum and not still struggling with their multiplication facts or reading at a 3rd grade level. One of the reasons this situation has gotten to be so acute is that we no longer retain kids when they're not deemed ready to move on to the next grade. Retention has become a politically incorrect term that needs to be avoided at all costs, so say supporters, as it brings trauma to students. Even though I realize that no one will ever enjoy being retained, We must understand that by letting a child move on to the next level when he or she is not ready, we are harming the student more and more because we are contributing to enlarge the educational gap that student already possesses. This makes it harder for him or her to catch up and might make him or her more prone to becoming a dropout. Lastly, Miss Beadle was teaching in the 19th century and was forced to have all her students in one room because there were simply no means to accommodate more classrooms. We are blessed this century with more means than these brave pioneers in Little House on the Prairie, but we're still failing our students and parents miserably. Teachers can certainly stretch themselves some to reach the students that are slightly below grade level, but usually, when faced with these extreme differences, most educators end up choosing to focus on the ones they can reach. Sometimes it's the low group, and the higher kids are neglected. Most times, though, it's the high kids, while the low kids are not served. So, what should we do if we have this in our classroom? The answer, we kind of know already, is to differentiate our teaching. Differentiation is a method of instruction designed by changing what students learn so as to focus on what they each need. I'll share the advice of two educators, Amy Stowe, an elementary teacher in Northern Virginia, and Todd Finley, a professor of English at East Carolina University. Amy's webpage, www.charmedbychallenge.com, has a very interesting article titled How I Teach Reading to a Class That Spans 7 plus grade levels. She suggests the only way for teachers to deal with this is to embrace the workshop model, which she explains in detail. Todd Finley's experience is more with 7th through 12th graders, and his approach is also differentiation in an article titled Teaching a Class with Big Ability Differences. His advice and tips are applicable both for reading and math teachers. In conclusion, it is insane indeed to expect teachers to teach a class where the abilities range 7 grades. But hopefully, by keeping in mind the suggestions of our colleagues shared today, we can make sure every student in our classroom grows some, and we can contribute to the narrowing of that gap. It is essential, however, that administrators and school authorities understand that if we stretch ourselves thin and grow every student, that doesn't mean that everyone might be able to pass a standardized test. Teachers should be held accountable for what they received in their classes at the beginning of the year and not be expected to get the results a teacher with a more homogeneous group of kids might achieve. I know today's topic is highly controversial, so feel free to email me your opinion or comments to steve@teacherstent.com. Or you can simply follow Teachers Tent on Instagram @teacherstent. In the meantime, please join us in 2 weeks' time for our podcast's 25th episode. I have a student with dyslexia. What do I do? We'll dive deep into this learning disability and share some hopefully useful tips. So please let me know in advance any ideas and tips that you might have on this topic. Please remember to continue suggesting things that you'd like to hear about, sharing with friends and co-workers, and becoming a top contributor by supporting and inspiring us here at Teachers Tent. And remember, if you're enjoying the show, please don't forget to let your colleagues and friends know about and bring them to Teachers Tent. We'll make room for them too. Have a great day.